of course, this is dealt with later in the film, and that's something I'll get into. But I really do like the power dynamics in the film, how power shifts as the film progresses. For example, Stephen has, like I said, the ability to fly the helicopter, but to be honest, it's pretty obvious that the character of Peter, the SWAT team member, is pretty much running the show. There's the scene where he gets in Stephen's face and points the gun at him and says, you know, you do that again, I'm going to kill you. I mean, fair play to Romero, because you've got to take your hats off to his portrayal for the character of Peter. The guy's kind of a jerk. He's very much knows he's in control. I mean, I know you could say it's the, you know, 70s staple of the cool, you know, black alpha. You know, sometimes it almost feels like, you know, Shaft has wandered into the middle of a zombie film. But I do like the fact that Peter's a well-rounded portrayal. I mean, Ken Foree's performance, he actually plays him, I feel is actually quite nuanced, because he plays him in the middle of the movie actually quite blank, which I think is a strong choice. I mean, buddy of mine saw it and said he thought that was because the guy couldn't act. I'd argue differently. Where the characters of Stephen and Fran, their performances are good, but they're a little soap opera at times. But I feel that Ken Foree's performance, like I say, he plays the character almost dead inside. This is a guy who's sinned too much. His emotional and psychological switchboard is pretty much shutting down. He's becoming dead inside. And he's also a character which I feel is the most honest with himself in what they're doing. These are guys who've run, and they are also representations. The fact that everything is crumbling down, representations of law and order, and the media have fled. You know, you're on your own. The TV's not going to help you, and neither the cops in this, and that's what I feel that Romero's saying to his audience. I mean, for example, when they're in the helicopter flying away, they're all trying to justify their actions and make out that they're different from everyone else. It's actually Peter who has the guts to say, I believe the direct quote is, "Wake up, sucker, we're thieves and we're bad guys." Peter knows exactly how things are and how they're rolling. This leads us, of course, to the supermarket sequences, and I know it's very easy to label the film as, you know, a criticism on consumerism. This has been something the film has been labelled on over and over again, and of course it's there. You know, it's very in your face, that particular parallel. But for me, you've got to compare it with Night of the Living Dead, which was a very 60s movie. Dawn of the Dead by definition is a very 70s movie, and I think it's a film about the death of ideals, not so much consumerism. But like I say, you've got Peter who's come to terms with the fact that in trying to do the right thing, he's failed. So fuck it, I'm gonna sit back and eat cheeseburgers. I mean, that's how he feels when they hit the mall, and that is what I feel the film's very much about. And this again leads us to the shifting relationship of power. I've got to respect Kevin Emge, the character of Stephen, because it would be very easy to say that character is too much like Cooper in his portrayal of the guy who's unlikable and dangerous, as in Night of the Living Dead. But Stephen's not like that. Stephen's a reasonable guy in many ways. He's just a bit weak and stupid, I feel, which makes him a much more realistic character. And then you have the awful scene, just to refresh your memory, where Stephen and Fran eat dinner together, and Stephen puts his heart on his sleeve and says, "Would you like to marry?" And Fran still says no. And when you think about it, that's kind of harsh. Yeah, you're pretty much the only workable guy I know, maybe left in the world, and you're still not good enough. That's harsh. And yeah, that is very harsh and somewhat unreasonable. Other greater things in the movie are, of course, the makeup by Tom Savini. It's it's absolutely fantastic. He works miracles with what was still quite, I feel, a minor budget. I like I said, the shifting relationships all the way through the characters. You have what's become now a zombie cliche, with the idea that one of the team has gotten bitten, and you see the slow deterioration. But you got to remember that for the time, this was new, and I like the idea that a zombie death isn't necessarily quick; it's slow and it's painful, and it becomes the responsibility of others to have to deal with that. There's so many things you can talk about for this movie. It is such a good movie, but I'm going to talk about what I don't like about Dawn of the Dead, and why, to a certain extent, I don't think it's quite the masterpiece everyone says it is, although I still do think it's awesome. I like slow-paced movies. I've got a big problem with fast-edited movies designed for assuming that everyone's a 14-year-old with ADD. But Dawn of the Dead, even in its theatrical cut, which is a lot shorter than the director's cut, it's a slow movie. I understand that in terms of making the supermarket secure, which is what the characters do, would be a lengthy process, but god damn, it takes ages for that to happen. I know it's the interesting thing of here's what I think would actually happen and how you go about it, but watching it again, I did find myself, in order to do the review, watching it again, I did find myself really looking at a watch at places. My other problem with the film comes with the film's third act, which is where, of course, the gang arrive in order to steal the possessions. This is a problem, I think, with some of Romero's work. Whilst his four principles are quite well developed and established, the biker gang are just, we're bad people and we're just taking it. I would have liked to have seen a little bit more development of those characters. I know, that would make, as I've just said, a movie which is slightly too long, even longer, but it's a little bit too black and white. That, look at them, they're bad, they have mustaches, they must be evil. That's pretty much how it rolls. Again, other criticism that could be levelled at it, as Civilian Snowman pointed out, the characters do make somewhat silly mistakes. There are some quite unrealistic stumbles in order to create tension, and they don't really sit well with the rest of the narrative. I don't really want to go on and on in this review. What I do want to do, actually, is take a moment to say, if you don't have the movie, you want to pick up this, which is the Blu-ray edition, and I can just sort out the box. And this one's from Arrow Films in the UK. I don't think it's region coded, so if you're not from the UK, import it. This is best. It has the 3 different cuts of the film, which is the theatrical cut, which is the Blu-ray, and the Dario Argento cut, which is a lot shorter, and the theatrical cut, but not the director's cut, which is again much longer, and it's full of extras. So really do pick this up. Anyway, so this is me wrapping it up for the Cigarette Birds. Like I say, I respect Dawn of the Dead. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It takes a genre which began and fully forms it and sets up, frankly, many of the rules which, further movies were going to copy and exemplify. Well worth your time. And to be honest, yeah, if you only do see one zombie film in your life, probably make it this one. Anyway, this is me, Theluchamediageek, for the Cigarette Burns, signing off. See ya.